The second half, they'll kick it to Oklahoma. Chris Burkholz will kick it deep, and you better tackle Brandon Daniels. He leads the country in kick returns, almost 37 yards per. Daniels 6 yards deep, will put a knee down, and the Sooners will have it 1st and 10 at the 20. Josh Heupel, 6'2", close to 210 pounds, from Aberdeen, South Dakota. And what a first year this junior college transfer has had for the Sooners. 27 touchdowns in the air. And up front, our Southwestern Bell Wireless offensive line, Stalker McDougal is enormous, 6'6" and 360 pounds. And he really moves his feet. The pro scouts love him. Jarrell Jackson, they throw it a ton. He's their leading receiver with 36 catches. And immediately they come out in the shotgun. Heupel all day gets it away, and it is incomplete. Brandon Daniels didn't handle it. Defensively, for the Texas Tech Red Raiders, they really play a 4-2-5, but 4 players are listed at linebacker. First of all, the defensive line, Taurus Rucker has 6 of the 12 sacks for the Red Raiders this year. He's a very fine player. At the linebacker level, Kyle Shipley's played a lot of football in his career in Lubbock, and he's a very steady player. The secondary, Malbro, the best cover man. Kevin Curtis will really hit you. The sophomore free safety is going to be a great player before his career is done. 2nd and 10. And that'll be a false start. And Oklahoma will move back 5 yards.
You got to enjoy the fact that you see early in the game, Texas Tech is dictating the tempo. They're not going to let Josh sit back there, Heupel, all day long. They're going to blitz him a little bit. And what caused that probably was the fact that Texas Tech is moving around, and they're going to show you a little blitz. I don't believe that you sit back and let a guy like Josh Heupel and Bob Stoops, being the head coach, just pass the ball all day long on you.
Now the Red Raiders walk up 6-7 close to the line of scrimmage and show blitz. And they bring 4. Here's Curtis. And they get it to they get it to Daniels for a very short gain. The free safety, Kevin Curtis, came clean right up the gut. It'll be 3rd down and 11. Kevin Curtis has been everywhere the last 5 weeks. He's averaging about 18 tackles a game the last month or so.
And one thing that we know about him, he's always close to the line of scrimmage. And that time, John Goodner, the defense coordinator, decided to send him on a blitz up the middle. Keeping Heupel uncomfortable to this game. You got to keep it up. 139 total tackles. That's a lot.
And they're calling that pass incomplete. So it's not 3rd and 11, it's 3rd and 15. They run draw. No, excuse me, Heupel still has it. And he's got a man wide open, and he overthrows Seth Luttrell coming out of the backfield. Luttrell was all by himself, but the pass a little bit too tall as Heupel had to throw it across his body, and they knocked down Heupel twice in that series. So a good defensive sequence for the Red Raiders.
Well, you know, Heupel, they don't give him a lot of sacks, that offensive line of Oklahoma. You got to get to Heupel, and you got to knock him down to get him uncomfortable, because if you don't, it's going to be a long day if you're Texas Tech.
And that one might have been partially blocked. And look at this, Norman grabs the football, and he has it to the 30-yard line. A gutsy play by John Norman, the junior from Midland, Texas.
That was a big-time play by John Norman, picking up that ball. You know, you normally say there's no need to doing that, but they are going to come on offense. They're going to, on special teams, they're going to blitz. They're going to try to make plays on special team and on defense, because the offense is a little banged up, and he gets a tip right there.
Levin's got the tip. Sammy Morris trying to find a running room, and he's going to lose a couple of yards. Here's the quarterback, Cliff Kingsbury, 6'4", about 190 pounds, redshirt freshman from the state of Texas. He has a very strong arm, not quite as athletic as Rob Peters. Kingsbury making his first career start. Last week he played quite a bit in the loss to Texas. He was just 5 of 19 last week, but That one got out of control in a hurry. Kingsbury's first look. Norman, touchdown, Texas Tech. That's the way to start if you're Cliff Kingsbury. Check it, it's Sammy Morris, not Norman. Sammy Morris getting in the end zone.
You want to talk about a dangerous player? Sammy Morris is dangerous. He can play the running back position. He can play line up at tight end. He can line up at wide receiver, and he also can play tailback and fullback. He can play all those positions. That time, they lined him up at a wide receiver spot, and he was wide open.
Chris Burkholtz will attempt the extra point. He's right down the middle with it. 7-0. The Red Raiders strike quickly. Sammy Morris from Cliff Kingsbury, all set up by the block punt, or the partial block by Devin Levens.
When we redesigned Dodge Neon, we gave it a longer wheelbase and more total interior volume. Not to mention a 132-horse, 16-valve engine, 4-wheel independent suspension, theater-style lighting, 4 cup holders, a standard 6-speaker stereo, and tons of other good stuff. Get 0.9 financing for 60 months or cash allowances at your friendly New England Dodge dealer.
The legend returns. The Celts would like to make it a rude welcoming. Pacers, Celtics, Monday night at 6:30, only on Fox Sports Net.
You wouldn't eat food off the sidewalk. You wouldn't drink from a strange glass. And you would not chew his gum. You protect yourself every day. So why have unsafe sex? Be smart. Protect yourself. Get the facts. Call 1-800-342-AIDS.
Devin Levens got the block on the punt. It didn't go far, and Texas Tech from the 30-yard line on the second play found Sammy Morris and a 32-yard touchdown strike. Sammy Morris, according to the coaching staff, may be the MVP of their team this year. He's played a little fullback, a little tailback, and as you say, Keith, he'll line up in the slot sometimes and catch the football out of the backfield. He has great hands.
But when you get a key player like Sammy Morris, you've got to use him, especially when you have so many injuries to your team. You've got to use every player that you feel that can make plays. When you're in college, you always look for playmakers, and Sammy Morris is that kind of guy.
There's 57 seconds into the first quarter. The Red Raiders are kicking off again, and this is much shorter. They try to keep it away from Brandon Daniels. They do. Jarrell Jackson has it. He's got a big opening. Close to midfield. Jackson is dangerous as well. Mark Washington made the tackle on special teams for the Red Raiders. Here's the touchdown again.
I tell you what, Tech does a great job of emptying the backfield. You know what? When you have Sammy Morris, he is a fullback, so therefore you got to put a linebacker on him. Nobody went and covered him. He was wide open, and Mike Woods tried to make a big play at the end and make a tackle, but that fullback body just dragged Mike Woods into the end zone.
Second touchdown pass in Kingsbury's career, but Oklahoma has it in good shape. And they'll go on the ground, and Quentin Griffin gets maybe a yard. Griffin's gotten a lot of playing time the last couple of weeks. Michael Thornton went down with an injury a few weeks ago. He had ankle surgery. He is done for the year. Griffin is a true freshman who redshirted, looked like he was going to redshirt. They took the red shirt off after 7 weeks, and in his first career start, those are pretty good numbers, 11.5 yards a carry.
That are good numbers. You know what? He's about an inch taller than Michael Thornton.
Yeah, they're getting bigger at that position. Thornton was 5'5", and Quentin's 5'6". Heupel has it complete, and tackled immediately is Damian Mackey. Anthony Marlborough grabbed him and dropped him after a short gain, so it'll set up third down and about 5.
You look at this defensive Texas Tech, they're being a little aggressive out there. They know that they've got to make plays. That was a great job of coverage on that time by Marlborough. He did a terrific job of making the tackle. A second longer, he'd have picked it off and took it to the house.
They need the 41-yard line. Heupel, pressure coming, has it away, first down yardage. Again, it is Mackey, and he got to about the 39-yard line. Mackey may be their best route runner. John Norman dropped him there.
You watch the formations. They're doing a great job of the formation. The offense coordinator, Mike Leach, he's bringing everybody in the box, getting a little block. You get that one-on-one coverage outside, and plus you give your quarterback some time to catch the ball. But Heupel has been paying the price all day long, and there's Curtis. You know what? He's going to show up a lot on your screen. He's like that guy that you said, Mama, here comes that man again.
Yep, he's a frequent visitor, isn't he? They bring 4 this time. Heupel has it to Daniels. He got 1 foot in. That's all you need in college. Another first down out at the 24. The amazing thing about Josh Heupel is he does not have the strongest arm you'll see. But you know what? He might have the most accurate arm you ever see.
Normally, when somebody has a deficiency, in, as they say and such, they definitely counter it with something. There was a guy in the NFL people may remember by the name of Jim McMahon. Same type of player. Not a strong arm, but boy, he was accurate.
Long toss to Griffin, trying to get to the edge, and he will for a few yards. Finally bounced out of bounds by Oscar Solis, but a solid gain of about 8 yards on first down. Let's check the game plan for the Oklahoma Sooners.
I think that they need to keep it balanced, and you see balance in quotation because for them, 76% fast passing and 30% running is balanced. Keep it special. The special teams have been doing a great job. Brandon Daniels and Jarrell Jackson have been doing a terrific job. Don't let Tech get started. They've already let them get started on offense. If you're a defense coordinator, you try to keep them in front of you and don't give them big plays. They've already given up one today.
Josh Norman, the brother of John Norman, is in the backfield. And he gets the football, and he's going to lose yardage. Keith Cockrum led the charge. 93, Zeno McCoy also in the neighborhood.
You remember what John Goodman was telling us yesterday? He said, our defense is made to stop the run. Our defense is made to stop the run, and they did a terrific job on that play.
31, Kevin Curtis, 210-pounder out of Coronado High School here in Lubbock. He was a high school quarterback and wasn't highly recruited. A lot of people are going to regret not recruiting that free safety. Third down and 3, ball's on the ground. Heupel recovers it, but now they'll have to bring the field goal unit on.
That was a good move by Heupel. He saw the ball, he was trying to pick it up, then he knew that rush was coming. He has this time clock in his head, and he just falls down on it.
So Heupel goes off. Tim Duncan, the sophomore, comes on. He's 9 of 12 in the field goal department this year, and this will be an attempt of 38 yards. And he missed it. He pushed it off to the left, and Oklahoma comes up empty. Wasn't perfect. 7-0. Texas Tech on their home field, leading the favorite Oklahoma Sooners. Good start for the Red Raiders. They have the football in the lead, 7-0. Let's take a look at our Dr. Pepper Big 12 standings. We showed you the South already. The North Division, Nebraska is in the driver's seat. They knocked off Kansas State last week, but they still have to play Colorado next week. Kingsbury wants the deep ball. All alone's his tight end Wynn. Tim Wynn inside the 5-yard line. The senior from Longview I don't think he's ever been that open in his life. A pickup of 75 yards. And a great throw from Kingsbury. He just laid it out there. 1st and goal. There you go, toss sweep. Morris lowering his pad level, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's all. The tackle by Roy Williams, the strong safety. Sammy Morris has been in the end zone already today. And you better wrap him up because Morris is tough to bring down at 225 pounds on a 6-foot body. He's one of 21 seniors that'll move on today, playing their final game at Jones Stadium. Senior from San Antonio. Option look, Morris. And this is well defended by Oklahoma. Let's take a look at the Texas Tech offensive starters, brought to you by Southwestern Bell Wireless. Jonathan Gray. There's two very talented and very enormous tackles in this game. He's 347 pounds. They call him the house, but he's got feet like he's 280. Sammy Morris, we've talked a lot about him. He's already scored today. Tim Wynn had the big play a moment ago. 3rd down and goal. And this one's blown dead as they try to get the football to win.
Well, you got to like Rick Dyke's game plan.
Kingsbury's pass incomplete.
Target on the snap, 5 yards, keep it out.
You like it? Rick Dykes is doing a great job, offensive coordinator for Texas Tech. He's made some great calls. That play action fake and that bomb down the middle of the field to your tight end, Tim Wynn. You know, you think when you lose a Cal Almond that you're in trouble, but Tim Wynn made a big play right there. Rick Dykes right there doing a terrific job of play calling so far and keeping Oklahoma off balance.
The son of, as probably suspected, Spike Dykes. Oh, man. Kingsbury just fell down. I don't know if one of the big offensive linemen stepped on his foot, but instead of getting an end zone shot, they're going to have to settle for a field goal try.
And if you're Spike Dykes, you're going, boy, we're missing these opportunities because Oklahoma has an explosive offense and they can put points on the board real fast. You've got to take advantage of every time you get inside the +20 in the red zone.
Burkholt's on. It'll be a field goal of 29 yards. Good snap, and the hold is there. And the kick is true. And Texas Tech extends their lead to 10-0. And Rick Dykes' game plan has been outstanding because he must have seen something on film where he was able to sneak some guys wide open. Morris was wide open coming out of the slot. Tim Wynn, his tight end, was all by his lonesome.
You know what? I think that they did a great job of game planning the linebackers of Oklahoma. That fake draw up inside, pull the linebackers up, and your tight end is running down the seam wide open, and he gets to catch the ball. I believe they saw something on film that dictated that they could go back to that over and over again.
Take a look at our sit-go. Do you know me? I have gained 834 total yards this season. My first 3 years, I totaled only 545 yards. Who am I? We will tell you a little bit later on. Rick Dykes, when we were talking to him yesterday, he said today would be very emotional for him as well because growing up as a coach's son, he didn't see his dad that much. He has spent more quality time with his father the last decade than he was able to growing up because as a coach's kid, your dad's, if he's not coaching, he's out recruiting. He said there'd be months I'd only see him a couple of times.
He talked about the old days with Spike Dykes being on the road full time. You could recruit all year long. You know, there wasn't any policy to say you had a certain time to recruit.
Another thunderous kickoff. That one out of the back of the end zone. Oklahoma will start again at the 20-yard line, trailing 10-0. Yep, he has cherished the moments with his father over the last decade. The scoring drive, Burkholtz from 29 yards away. The big pass play 75 yards. Kingsbury to the tight end win. Texas Tech has been like two different teams this year, Keith. At home, they have one loss. That was a defeat to North Texas, their nemesis over the years. Other than that, they've been clean at home. On the road, they've struggled. The Sooners picked up their second road win of the year last week at Iowa State. They throw it in the flat, and they lose about 3 yards.
Boy, that was a funny formation. You had 3 receivers stacked up over here, right in there. 3 receivers stacked right there. You don't know who the ball's going through. That's a stack formation. Then Norman goes in motion, and then he throws the ball out. It's a quick screen. Now the receivers are supposed to block. But you know what? Texas Tech probably seen that play on film and did a great job of stopping it.
Mike Leach looks down at the play sheet, crosses that one off. Says, what do I have for second and 18? Blitz coming off the corner. Cockrum coming. They throw it underneath. Curtis makes the tackle immediately on Trent Smith, the tight end. Texas Tech, you're going to count them up. How many guys they have on the field? Seems like they have 15.
I think they added an extra 1 out there. They're all over the field. We talked about them playing with emotion, and they're playing with emotion today. They're making sure they tackle the guys in front of them, but they're not just laying back and being a soft, don't-break defense. They're bringing the house.
I thought you made a great point in the open. This is a school that always plays with emotion. Third and 7. Heupel's got plenty of time. And now Heupel looks to run. Now he gets it away to Jackson. And Jarrell will have the first down to the 38-yard line.
Well, I love what I see with Josh Heupel. He does a terrific job of just buying time and letting his receiver get open. He's taking some hit. It all starts with the snap. You got to get a great snap so the quarterback can keep his eyes downfield. He's looking downfield. Nobody's open. Great coverage by Texas Tech. They're doing a great job. Now he has to get outside the pocket. He shaved his 40 time down from a 5.0 to a 4.8. So he can get outside the pocket a little bit and makes a great throw to Jarrell Jackson.
Double slot on first down. Curtis coming on a blitz. They pick it up. Underneath throw. Here's Daniels. He can scoot. He'll get it to the 34-yard line. Tackled by John Norman. Another great strike from Heupel to Brandon Daniels.
Tell you what, they've been putting the pressure on him all day long. But they do a great job in the pocket. This offensive line is giving him time. If you give him time, he is dangerous. And he finds open receiver Daniels downfield. Some would say probably the most underused player in the history of Oklahoma.
Well, they've used him everywhere, but I think they found a home at wide receiver. They give it to Quentin Griffin, and he sneaks through. He breaks the tackle. Griffin. Oh, what a run to the 1-yard line. At 5'6" and 180 pounds, you're not supposed to break tackles like that.
This all goes back to when Texas Tech had the ball and couldn't score. Now Oklahoma has the ball, and they are a quick striking offense, and he just runs the ball up the gut and then breaks a tackle, that low center of gravity, and pulls through it and does a great job of getting the ball down to the 1-yard line.
Aaron Hunt saved the touchdown, at least momentarily. Heupel tries to take it himself, and Kevin Curtis says, no, not going to happen on this down. So it'll be second and goal right about the 1-yard line. 10-0, Texas Tech, 6:14 to go in the first quarter. Drew Goodman, Keith Jackson, Jim Knox. On a pleasant late November day at Jones Stadium in Lubbock.
Looked like Josh Heupel was getting that signal. Hey, let's do that quarterback sneak again. Let's do the quarterback. Let me score this one.
Luttrell and Griffin in the backfield, and they give it to Griffin, and he scores. Second career touchdown for Quentin Griffin, the true freshman from Aldine, Texas.
Boy, did he have a big game last week. Usually a true freshman in this offense. Get a chance to play. Huge game last week Griffin had.
And Duncan tacks on the extra point, and the Sooners are within 3. On third down, Heupel made it happen, scrambling a little bit, finding Jarrell Jackson. Oklahoma already bowl eligible at 6-3. The Red Raiders trying to get bowl eligible. They're 5-5. And Oklahoma is going to kick it into a pretty stiff wind. Norman will handle the football from the 7. And he won't get to the 20-yard line. Stopped at the 19.
Well, it wasn't a quarterback sneak. They decided to go get the ball to Quentin Griffin, who did a great job of getting him down there. And they followed behind almost 600 and something pounds behind Bubba Burcham and Big Stalker McDougal. When you have that much weight leaning forward, it's going to create a hole.
Stalker McDougal bench pressed the left side of the defensive line. The Buick scoring drive. Oklahoma responds. And Sammy Morris gets to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. He ran into Rocky Kalmus, number 20, who makes a lot of tackles. Kalmus, a 230-pound sophomore from Jenks, Oklahoma. For a guy making his first start, Keith, Kingsbury's look pretty sharp.
You know what? They've done a great job of making him comfortable and getting receivers wide open. All they do is play catch so far. See, that's another one.
Yep, D. Jackson this time the receiver, and Jackson breaks a tackle and gets very close to a first down. Torrance Marshall made the stop. D. Jackson, big target, 6'2", 200-pounder from San Antonio.
I applaud offensive coordinator Rick Dykes. He's doing a terrific job. He's getting this young guy comfortable. Kingsbury's comfortable. He's throwing wide open passes. Well, they struggled a little bit. He comes back with just a quick screen, something out in the flat where a guy can catch it and take off running. Now you got positive yards.
What did he say yesterday? He said he is the best young quarterback in terms of talent he's ever been around. 3rd and 1. And Moore's cut down in the backfield. Kalmus got penetration, and the Red Raiders will have to punt. Richardson also there, Ramon Richardson.
Well, that defensive line of Oklahoma probably hadn't been the bright spot all year long, but they're doing a great job of penetrating early in the game, getting upfield, cutting off those holes, and then you can make a tackle. Rocky Kalmus just stuck his leg out and got a trip right there, and Corey Kalmus is right there on the spot also.
Eric Rosales will punt, just under 40-yard average this year. And Jarrell Jackson back at his own 25. And he is a tremendous returner. He's been in the end zone on a return this year. Trying to get to the wall, he gets a great block. And Jackson will get out to the 37. Did he put it on the ground? Red Raider football.
Special teams have to be special for Texas Tech. They've come up with 2 big plays, a partially blocked punt, and then that fumble on their return by Jarrell Jackson.
Ronald Ross fell on it.
Jarrell, dangerous punt returner. He gets the ball upfield, but when you're in special teams and you know you've got to make a play, you always go for the ball. And that's exactly what happened on that play. They went for the ball and knocked it out of there.
Kyle Shipley may have knocked it out. Kingsbury. And good thing he tucked it away as he's sacked by Corey Callens. They have to keep Kingsbury healthy. Rob Peters had a concussion last week. He's not available. And after Kingsbury is a sophomore in Shea McCutcheon, who hasn't played much football.
Well, you see why the offensive coordinator, Rick Dykes, is doing a great job of making sure he gets rid of the ball. Every time that Kingsbury takes off, he's probably just closing his eyes going, don't get hurt.
2nd and 12. There's Rob Peters. Even though he can't go, he said, I'm going to suit up. My last game, I'm not coming out in shorts. They run the fade, and Derek Doris is well covered. Roy Williams was on him, the strong safety. Let's take a look at the game plan for Texas Tech.
Well, we knew they were going to be emotional, but sometimes you can get a little emotional, over-emotional. They're doing a great job of controlling emotion so far. You got to find some offense from somewhere. They found some offense. I don't know where it came from, but a great job by Rick Dykes so far. They got some home cooking. 3-1 at home. You got to take your home stand, and you got to win. So they've done a great job so far of doing everything that they need to do.
They've been a great bounce-back team this year, trying to bounce back from a 58-7 loss to the Longhorns. Kingsbury to vacate, and he won't go far on third down. And Corey Callan's got the sack, and he got a shoe also.
Corey Callan's a some player. You know, he started at defensive end, moved to defensive tackle, now moving back to defensive end. He's played all over that defense. He does a terrific job for him.
Gray area at the plus 35-yard line, and they will attempt a long field goal. This will be from 52 yards for Burkholz. His longest this year is 41. He's 0 for 1 from this distance.
Better watch out for the fake.
Well, they got the wind at the back of Burkholz, and he misses it right. So Texas Tech cannot capitalize on the turnover, but they still lead 10-7 with 1:58 to go in the first quarter.
You want to talk about a ball hanging in the air. It had enough footage. It got there, but the one thing is they're just sitting there watching it. It looked like it might make it. You know, you just can't twist your body and make it go to the left. You can't do that. It won't go in. You got to kick it straight.
That never helps, does it?
No, not at all.
You know, it helped Bucky Dent, though.
Did it?
Yeah, it helped Bucky Dent. That's the only guy that body language ever helped. Carlton Fisk, I think it helped, too.
I've tried it in basketball. It doesn't work.
Doesn't work? Maybe it's your jumper.
Maybe it is.
Tom Allers, our referee.
Sideline warning on the Texas Tech bench.
There's usually one guy on the sideline, Keith. You know this. There's usually one guy on the staff that's job is to make sure everybody's in the box, right? Get in the box. Get in the box.
They always have a GA. That's his job.
Yeah, move back. Move back.
Move back. Stay out of the box. But they all were out there trying to put some English on that field goal. So they got a little bit too far up in there.
They got outside the lines. Used to happen with my Crayolas. Blitz coming, they bring 6.
Yes, sir.
Heupel has it knocked down in the secondary by John Norman. Maybe the best athlete on the Texas Tech football team. You know he wants to play well today against his brother Josh, number 3 for Oklahoma. 2 products of Midland Lee High School.
Boy, he does a great job of getting that arm up. It looked like he tripped. It was just a last-minute ditch effort of sticking that arm up. Boy, that would have been a big-time play by Daniels if he'd have caught it, but he didn't because John made a great play.
Shipley comes with a blitz. They go to Griffin, and he goes nowhere. And now a flag comes in. Zeno McCoy made the tackle.
He's a little jitterbug. It looked like somebody might have grabbed his face mask because he was shaking and baking in there so much.
And that'll be a 15-yarder. So instead of 3rd and long, Oklahoma's going to get a first down out around midfield. And now they're huddling up again. Maybe they're not so sure it was a face mask. Of it from our crew, and a great job by the officiating crew at Tom Allers, because the most important thing is to get it right. They got it right.
Well, the one thing they've allowed the referees to do is to come in and change a play or call if you see it, but you've got to be right about it.
3rd and 10 now for the Sooners. trouble.
Third down.
Well, you always want to make sure you have the down right.
That helps a little bit.
Yeah, folks in Columbia, Missouri still lament.
Oh, that was a hard one to take.
That 5th down against Colorado back about 9 years ago. Heupel under pressure is going to get sacked. Oh, man, is that complete? If it is a first down at Chris Hammonds. He just flipped it over his shoulder. Magic Johnson would be proud of that pass. I think that's going to go.
He saw somebody out in the flat as he's getting tackled. He's trying to dump it to him, but can't. So the ball just goes forward, and Chris Hammond does a great job of catching it. Now the question is, did it hit a lineman? He's back there. The pressure's coming. Texas Tech's been doing a terrific job all day with that, but you miss a sack right there. Nope. Then he tries to throw it, and it hits a lineman first. It can't hit a lineman first, and it bounced back. So they got away with one.
That is unbelievable. I have never seen that. I don't know why he did it. He must have saw Hammonds, and it bounced off somebody's helmet and landed in, we assume, his intended target's hands. First down, Oklahoma. Here's a slant. Yeah, that is complete to Mackey.
Is that one of those plays where you say, well, off the goalpost, back here, off the ground, back, and then right into the receiver's hand?
Yeah, it looks like one of those Bird Jordan commercial. Mike Leach, he's looking in the playbook saying, I don't believe we teach that technique, and I don't believe we have that play.
You can film study for that one, Mike Leach. That just happens.
2nd and 4 after the 6-yard pickup. Heupel, deep ball, and it's caught. Touchdown, Mackey. A flag is down, however, back at the 45-yard line. Actually, a flag on both sides of the field. And it looks like it's going to stand up. He was offside against Texas Tech. Touchdown, Oklahoma.
When a guy's outside, what you do is you take a shot at a deep ball. That's smart. The one thing that Heupel's done is he's brought some smarts to this offense. He can change the plays at the line of scrimmage, but that time he said, wait a minute, somebody's outside, I'm taking a shot at a deep ball, and he did, and Mackey came up with a big catch. He's caught a ball in every game this year.
4th touchdown of the year for Damian Mackey. And the Sooners, after being behind 10-0, now lead 14-10. Heupel has got it rolling today. And he's got it rolling when he throws conventionally and unconventionally.
Well, you need a little luck in this game. There's a little luck involved in this game, and that's what you call a little luck. The ball bounces off right into Hammond's hand, and then he does a great job of getting a first down. That was a big first down, and that gives him an opportunity to get another play and go for a touchdown. When they get Texas Tech offside, draw him offside, well, you take a shot. That is the best cover guy, Marlboro, on Mackey, and Mackey does a great job with his arm. They don't call pass interference there. That's just old-fashioned rubbing, Drew, and that's a touchdown.
I knew you'd be proud of that. It's never interference if they don't call it, right?
That's exactly right.
Pin that arm down at the waist. Josh Heupel, 28th touchdown pass of the year. And maybe he's explaining the previous pass to his passing coordinator, Mike Leach. And Mike's saying, all right, it worked, Josh. That's great, but I don't want to see it again. Buick scoring drive, 5 plays, 65 yards. Heupel 11 for 15 in the early going for 147. Last week he was held to 180 yards against Iowa State, so they broke out the running game and rushed for 301. And this goes through the end zone. The Red Raiders will have it at their own 20, but the final play of the first quarter. It's been a wild first quarter. Texas Tech broke on top, 10-0. The Sooners come back, and they lead 14-10.
And hi again, everyone. Jim Knox back in Jones Stadium in Lubbock, Texas. Oklahoma has just taken the 14-10 lead over Texas Tech. We're just about to start the second quarter. A reminder for you Big 12 football fans, don't forget to check out Big12Sports.com. Anything and everything you want to know about your favorite club, check it out on Big12Sports.com. Also, you can check out some Big 12 football championship tickets, which will take place December 4th at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. Look what I have here. It's not too early to think about basketball. Big 12 championship tickets of basketball. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm in the generous mood. I'm going to give mine to Raider Red. Enjoy Raider Red. Have a good time. Drew.
All right, Jim, thanks very much. Sammy Morris has not found much running room against Oklahoma. And he's going to lose a few. Corey Heineke tackled him in the backfield, 89, the 218-pound sophomore. Oklahoma has been improving and improving on defense, and they've given up only 10 points the last 2 weeks. As we look at our sleep-in first quarter numbers, 1 turnover by Oklahoma, but they produced 176 yards, and Tech has 113. Most of those yards on 2 big plays. Kingsbury, good release. And out to the 37-yard line goes Darryl Jones. Great throw by Kingsbury. You wouldn't know this is his first collegiate start by the way he's played.
Well, Kingsbury's done a great job of throwing the ball today. He's comfortable. He takes a chance on that one. He has the receiver going in motion to pull the underneath coverage, and then the receiver coming on the back. That's Jones. And, boy, you're talking about the luck of the draw. Mike Woods slipped down right there. He might have stepped in there and picked that ball off. And Jones gets to make the extra yards.
Morris makes a cut, another, and then runs into Rodney Rideau at the 42-yard line, but he got about 4 yards.
As much as Tech is passing, it almost looked like Oklahoma's game plan. They're putting the ball in the air. You say, this is Tech. I mean, Tech likes to run the ball, but they're putting the ball in the air, and Oklahoma secondary is having a little trouble with some of the plays that they're running. So Rodney Rideau, he's the leader back there. He'll get him started.
They go to Morris again, and Morris comes out of the pack and got about 3.5 yards. It'll set up 3rd down and short. Torrance Marshall made the tackle. You know, this Red Raider offensive unit has been beaten up all year, and injuries are a part of football, and nobody likes to make excuses, but they have lost so many key players. It all began in the opening weekend against Arizona State when they lost Ricky Williams, who would have been a Heisman candidate. He had over 3,000 yards rushing his first 2 years. Then this guy's been in and out of the lineup, Rob Peters. He can't go today at quarterback. Morris gets the first down on 3rd and short. They'll move the chains out to the 49-yard line. Rocky Kalmus made the tackle. Look at the injuries on offense. Gray's been out of there at some point. Lowry to the whole left side. Or excuse me, Gray, Lowry, and Sanders are the only people who've played in every game, started every game. Morris is the only running back to play in all 11 games. So 3 of your 11 starters have made it through the wars into November. And again, injuries, you can't use it as an excuse, but you have, as a player is down for Oklahoma, you have years where you have better fortune with injuries, don't you, Keith?
I think we're looking at Mike Woods down there, but you know what? I can tell you one thing. You look at the tight end, Cal Almond, being out, and you're talking about Ricky Williams, how important he was to his team. You can believe me that injuries hurt.
Mike Woods being helped off right now. We're back in a moment. Mike Woods being worked on the sideline. The outstanding senior corner from Del City, Oklahoma, second team All Big 12 a year ago. 3-year starter. And Sammy Morris crosses midfield, knocked out to 46 by Callens. And Texas Tech putting together another nice drive.
And in the meantime, Callens is having himself some kind of ball game. They keep running at him. He keeps answering. You know, a big defensive lineman like that, he's getting off the blocks and get out there and catch a guy that runs about a 4.5 like Sammy Morris. He's doing a terrific job for Oklahoma today.
Second down and 4, 12:50 to go before halftime. Oklahoma leading by 4. Short side toss. And Rideau comes up from his safety spot and makes the tackle. Probably a loss of 1. And let's check in with Jim Knox. Jim?
All right, Drew. Mike Woods is now up and running on the sidelines. He's going to be okay. He came out of the game complaining about his right knee. They checked it out. They said, hey, you're okay. So he said, hey, I guess I am. I'm coming back in.
All right, Jim, thank you. That's good news, obviously, for the Sooners. There's Mike Woods.
He's their best cover guy. They've got to have him in the game. It's not like Texas Tech has some big receiver that can put up numbers, but you want all your people in the game to go to war with.
3rd and 5. Kingsbury throws it in the flat, and Rudy Renda will not get to the sticks. Ball came out late. It'll be short. Texas Tech holds on. And the Red Raiders will send on the punt team.
But looking at Kingsbury, you know what? He's taking what they gave him. That's all they gave him. They did a great job of covering. He had to get the ball out in the flat. He did that. He got it into the hand of Renda. Renda tried to make the first down. It didn't happen. You punt the ball and you try it again next time.
Eric Rosales will kick it to Jarrell Jackson. Oh, he's going to try to probably coffin corner this one. It is punting into a pretty good win. Oh, he deadens it inside the 10-yard line. Well done by Rosales. And the Red Raiders have backed up Oklahoma. 14-10 Sooners leading in Lubbock. Big 12 football is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. By Citgo, you know me. And by Sleep In. The next time you travel, stay at Sleep In a class by itself. Statue of Will Rogers here in Lubbock, Texas. The Sooners are backed up at their own 6-yard line. Leading 14-10. Heupel out of the gun. Long ball to Daniels, and it is broken up downfield by Reagan Bounds, the Raider back.
Reagan Bounds is one of those guys that's listed as an outside linebacker. But you watch him on this play. He's running step for step with Daniels, who can run. And at the end of the play, he comes in and knocks the ball away. Now, he's not an outside linebacker. He's one of those guys that's a safety, but they list him as outside linebacker. That's a great job covering by Reagan Bounds.
Yeah, Cockrum also. Really a 5-man secondary by formation. They bring 6 this time. Jarrell Jackson the catch, and he'll have a first down out to the 18. That is where Heupel is so good. When you blitz, not only does he know where his hot receiver is, he always gets it there in a hurry.
Well, the thing about him is sometimes he changes the play to get it there in a hurry. He has all the skills it takes to be a great quarterback. He can audible at the line of scrimmage, or he can sit back and go with the play and find the short receiver. There's always a short receiver that you can get the ball to.
Changing the play again. Heupel throws a fade. Jackson just over his head. Antoine Alexander had the coverage, but Jackson had a step. One of the things about Josh Heupel, and you hear this from time to time about quarterbacks, he is a coach's kid. He understands how to play the position. His father is the head coach at Northern State in their hometown of Aberdeen, South Dakota. And his father tells a great story about Josh. He said he was in 3rd grade. We were driving home from a high school football game I was coaching, and he started critiquing and second-guessing my game plan. He said that's when I knew he was pretty sharp. Short gain on 2nd down. It'll be 3rd and 8 as Griffin gets about 2. Let's revisit our Citgo You Know Me. I've gained 834 total yards this year. Far more than my production for my first 3 years. I am Brandon Daniels, who's played some quarterback, some defensive back, some running back, and he has found a home at wide receiver. He came in with 35 catches. 2 on the play clock. They just do get a snap, and the pressure gets to him. Cockrum came off the edge, the senior.
Well, Cockrum was the guy who had a hold of him when he threw that miracle pass. He would have had a sack then, but he got the ball away. This time, he gets a hold of him and pulls him down.
A former walk-on, a 4.0 student, Keith Cockrum, is a double major, finance and economics. And he's also a National Football Foundation winner. They only select 15 football players nationwide. He's got one of those scholarships. And this is not a great punt. Ferguson has it go out of bounds. It looked like it went out of bounds. Now it came back in about the 48-yard line, very close to the sideline. And with the bounce, better punt. A reminder coming up later on, the BMW play of the game. There's been several to choose already in this football game as you look at Keith Cockrum playing his final home football game. One of the things that Spike Dykes is very proud of, with the 21 seniors, 12 are going to graduate in December early.
And 2 have already graduated.
2 are already working on graduate total degrees.
And the one thing that Spike Dykes said is this game is about the kids.
Morris gets to the 50-yard line. Pickup of a couple. Torrance Marshall will get up last for Oklahoma. Scoreless here in the second. All kinds of fireworks in the first half. In fact, Texas Tech got on the board in the first minute of the football game. Did a big pass play on their first possession. Sammy Morris scored from 32 yards away. Kingsbury, and nearly a circus catch. The ball was still up in the air. D. Jackson had it for a moment. We talked to Spike Dykes yesterday about the rumors of his resignation at season's end.
If it is, we'll wait till the game's over, and then we'll address it then. I think that's what we've always done. We tell our guys we sign on for a season, and then when the season's over, we sit back, look, see where we are, and I think this will be addressed at the proper time. I don't think there's any question about that. I've been asked that a lot this week, and my only answer has been that I'm trying like crazy to get this bunch ready to play Oklahoma. I'll tell you, what we better worry about is Oklahoma and not the rest of that mess, because it'll all take care of itself.
Kingsbury sacked on the corner blitz by Pee Wee Woods, so Texas Tech will have to punt the football. Getting back to Spike Dykes, he's coached here for 13 years, the winningest coach in school history. Before his arrival, they had 4 coaches here in Lubbock in 12 years. In fact, Oklahoma, your alma mater, since he's been here 13 years, they've gone through 5 head coaches.
Well, I've seen the difference. I was there with Barry Switzer, and after he left, they struggled to find a new head coach. Bob Stoops is doing a terrific job. So if Dykes does leave, they're going to have a tough time finding somebody to fill his shoes.
Well, this is not a good punt at all. Rosales, who came in averaging about 40 yards, is hanging his head a little bit as he jogs to the sideline. Oklahoma catches a break. They'll have pretty good field position. (14-10) Oklahoma. Spike Dykes' team down 4. They've gone to bowl games 5 of the last 6 years. With a win, they may go 6 of 7 years. 12-yard punt by Rosales. So Oklahoma has it at their own 43. They run a sweep with Griffin, and he gets about 3 yards before Reagan Bounds wraps him up. Don't forget to join Jim Knox in a few minutes on our Sonic America's Drive-In halftime report. He'll get you caught up on scores from around the Big 12. Inside 7 minutes to play in the first half.
These two schools have had their share of great running backs, Drew.
They really have. Seems every year the Red Raiders have a great runner. There's that stacked formation to the near side. Mike Leach has a whole set of formations. Heupel gets it away, complete to Daniels, and it'll be a first down. He paid for it. Kevin Curtis knocked him down hard, but he got enough for a first down out at the 45-yard line of Texas Tech.
Here's that stack formation again, Drew. You watch them. Then they go in all different directions. It only looks like 3 guys are going out and 2 guys are covering them, but somebody's going to be coming over the top. Right there, you can't cover them all, and there's Brandon Daniels, who's wide open, and the safety has come all the way from his spot to try to make a play. That's not going to happen.
Blitz coming. Heupel threw that one away. Good coverage downfield. Keith Cockrum running with the tight end Trent Smith. The numbers on Heupel, 13 of 20. He has a bit of a sore arm. In fact, they don't let him throw Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
When you throw as many passes as he's thrown this year, you need to rest his arm a little bit. He's like a pitcher, but he's doing it every week in and week out. He doesn't get a lot of breaks.
That never happened with Jamel Holloway. They didn't have to ice his arm down, did they?
Not with the 4 passes he threw a game. All 4 to me, though, Drew.
Well, you got mad. Lemons tackles Griffin almost immediately. And that'll set up third down. Lemons had a punt block. Got a hand on it. It wasn't a full-fledged block, but caused a short punt early in the football game and set up Texas Tech at the 30-yard line. They scored 2 plays later. Lemons, a junior from Pampa, Texas. The Sooners need the 35. Heupel has it go right through the arms of Damian Mackey, right at the sticks.
Well, that's one that Mackey's probably saying, I should have had that one. Boy, if I get the opportunity, I'm going to make a big play again. That ball was right in his hands, but he's trying to get his feet down and not go out of bounds, and sometimes that calls you to drop a pass.
So Jeff Ferguson will come on to punt, and John Norman will go back to his own 10-yard line. I guess the Norman family up from Midland, they got some Texas Tech stuff on, some Oklahoma paraphernalia on. They have both schools covered today.
You can put it this way, there's a whole bunch of red on in that family.
Yeah, they're okay if they wear red.
They're okay if they wear red.
So Texas Tech will have it at their own 16-yard line. Cliff Kingsbury getting some final instructions. He was the only scholarship quarterback available during spring practice. You mentioned it at the top of our broadcast. His senior year in high school, he threw 34 touchdowns and only 8 interceptions playing for his dad, Tim. Similarities between he and Heupel. Little option look. And a big gainer for James Easterling. Roy Williams knocked him out. Easterling's first carry of the day.
I tell you what, they said they were going to run a little option just to keep Oklahoma honest. They did it. They ran a little option. But look at that great blocking downfield by Morris, and the receivers getting down there.
Player down for Oklahoma. Can't pick off a number, obviously. And now we're being told it's 45, Rodney Rideau.
Well, he's the leader in that secondary. He's the guy that makes the call once you change formation. Well, he stepped up last year when they had some injuries, and he's never lost that safety spot since then. Doors is blocking, and then he goes down right there on that knee and hits it. It might be that right knee.
Rodney will make the long walk across the field. And the good news, obviously, he is putting full body weight on both lower extremities.
Yeah, this is secondary's already been beat up all year. We talked about Tex Woes. Their secondary's been beat up a lot too. They had a great player by the name of Ante Jones who could play safety back there. He got beat up, and so now you got Rodney Rudeau out. You took William Bartee, who was one of your safeties, and moved him to corner. So you might see William Bartee go back to safety and see Pee Wee Woods come in at that corner spot. They've been beat up a little bit back there.
We're at Jones Stadium in Lubbock, Texas, with Keith Jackson and Jim Knox. I'm Drew Goodman. 5:08 to go before halftime. Rideau goes to the sidelines. He's their second leading tackler. 14-10, the Sooners leading. Easterling gets another carry, and he's cut down after a couple of yards, so it'll be 2nd and 8. Roy Williams up close to the line of scrimmage again, number 38. Well, last night, just about quarter of a mile from here, they opened up the new United Spirit Arena, the new home for men's and women's basketball at Texas Tech. And the Indiana Hoosiers of Bobby Knight in town. And unfortunately for Red Raider fans, Bobby Knight's team won by 8. Well, that is a gorgeous facility. Kingsbury had it to D. Jackson, and closing in a hurry was William Bartee. Bartee's a big physical corner, 6'1", about 200 pounds, a senior from Daytona Beach, Florida. And he moved from safety to corner. And now scouts say, hey, we like this guy because he's so big.
Well, they love the fact that he has a 37-inch vertical jump, which he goes up there and pulls that ball out at the last minute right there. But the point that he can cover at safety and he can cover at corner, that means he has the versatility to play 2 positions in the NFL, and that's why they like you.
And as you know, Keith, the trend in the NFL is for bigger cornerbacks right now. And with the play clock down to 1, Kingsbury's going to call timeout and make his way to the sideline. 3rd and 9. A scoreless second quarter. Let's check in now with Jim Knox. Knoxy.
Okay, Drew, I have to tell you what's coming up on the Sonic America's Drive-In Halftime Report. You do not want to miss this. The best of Keith and Dave's coaching tips from all season long. We'll also take a look back at some outstanding plays in the Big 12. And, of course, look ahead to other Big 12 action going on later this afternoon. All this coming your way on the Sonic America's Drive-In Halftime Report.
All right, Jim. Wide receiver coach is Dick Winder. He's the one talking to Kingsbury right now. And Dick Winder was the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma for a couple of years under John Blake.
Boy, when you look at Dick Winder, when you look at Rodney Rudeau down right now, they're taping his ankle. So it wasn't his knees, taping his ankle.
They're doing it right on the field.
Yeah, keep him out there. I mean, you have to have him on the field. I mean, he just get everybody lined up. He's the brains of the secondary, so he has to play, and he's tough. He's going to stay in the game. It's amazing the pain tolerance that these college athletes have this day.
Do you know what business I want to go into on the side? The tape business. You make a nice living just selling tape to football programs.
They use a lot of tape in football.
3rd and 9. Kingsbury trying to vacate, and he's going to get dropped. He is tackled from behind by Ryan Fisher, and Oklahoma turns away Texas Tech. Now, the Oklahoma defense has been stout the last 2 weeks. 31-10 last week in Ames, Iowa. The week before, they shut out Missouri 37-zip. Their second shutout of 1999. They had gone almost 8 seasons without a shutout. This year they have 2. And again, this is a short punt by Rosales, though it does take a Red Raider bounce. Down at the 23-yard line. That's where Oklahoma will have it. Spike Dykes, 13 years here in Lubbock, Texas. You talk about a perfect fit. He just personifies, I guess, what West Texas is all about. Since he's been in charge, 5 Oklahoma coaches, 4 coaches at Baylor, 3 each at Colorado, Kansas, Missouri, and Texas. 2 others, and the Red Raiders have just had this guy walking the sidelines. He's pulled off 13 upsets over nationally ranked teams. In the last 6 years, he's 7-5 against Texas and Texas A&M. They fake a reverse, and Quentin Griffin gets a couple. Keith Cockrum brings him down. You know, that's something that's lost. Texas Tech has to go and recruit head-to-head with the University of Texas and Texas A&M, and they win a few battles. But let's be honest, more often than not, UT and the Aggies are going to win those battles. Yet he's 7-5 the last 6 years against those schools.
Well, the thing is, they love to play for him. When you love playing for your coach, you play with a lot more emotion.
All of a sudden, you're a tenth of a second faster and a team about 20 pounds larger. They run a sweep with Josh Norman, and he has a minimal gain before Taurus Rucker ran him out. There is Josh, the brother of John. Let's see if number 3 and number 2 get together on the field a little bit today.
You know what makes Oklahoma dangerous is you got Josh Norman. He can play running back. He can play wide receiver. You got a kid like Brandon Daniel. He can play running back. He can play wide receiver. As we look at John right there, there might be a little matchup, and they may hit each other head-to-head. I wonder who the mother's going to cheer for.
That both of them stand up after the hit. 3rd down, pressure coming. Heupel hangs in. All day to throw. Now Heupel has it, 1st down. Curtis Fagan made the catch. You talk about patience. Kyle Shipley brought him down.
You're talking about, like you said, you're talking about patience in the pocket. There's nobody open. Texas Tech is doing a great job of covering him up, but he's not going to throw the ball away. He's a great quarterback. He don't throw many interceptions, so he buys some time. As long as that rush don't get there, he's still moving to the right, getting away, getting behind Stalker McDougal. There's a lot of room behind him, and then finding open receivers.
Now he wants a deep post. Complete to Jackson. He beat Malbrough. Great throw and a terrific catch. To the 13-yard line, a pickup of 45.
Malbrough's Texas Tech coverage guy, but there's one thing that you can't beat. That's what Dan Marino, quarterback for the Dolphins, told me. He said, and that's a perfect pass. It don't make any difference what great coverage you have, and that was a perfect pass. It comes right down where only Jarrell Jackson could catch it.
He ran down there and handed it to him. He couldn't have thrown it any better. Griffin and Littrell behind Heupel. Griffin gets the call. Griffin, touchdown, Oklahoma. They softened him up with the pass, and then they let the little guy squirt through a big opening.
Running behind Matt O'Neal and Bubba Bertram up there, right there in the middle of that field. They may think about putting in turf in Norman. He made a great cut on the turf back across the grain to get into the end zone.
They just got rid of the turf. And Tim Duncan adds the extra point. 21-10, Oklahoma. Here's that pass play again. Jarrell Jackson with good coverage.
That was great coverage on the play, but I tell you what, Heupel should get a lot of credit for this one. Not all of it, because Jarrell has to come up with the catch, and that sets it up. But then you've got to put the ball on the ground. We talked about balance. Here's putting it on the ground, and watch this cut. Bam! Step back across the grain, and he's so small, you don't see him, Quentin, until he comes through the line. Now you want to watch him. He's right here, and he's going to go right here, then he's going to take a cut right back into the end zone. Right there's a wide open hole. He sees the hole, but it's a man in the hole. You can't get him. Bam! That's putting on brakes and cutting back across the grain, and nobody can touch him.
And Bubba Bertram had the block at the linebacker level. 59. And nice little touchdown run for the true freshman from Aldine, Texas, and some folks up in Anchorage, Alaska, I imagine, or excuse me, Fairbanks, Alaska, are up cheering right now. The Oklahoma basketball team looking in. They're playing in a basketball tournament in Fairbanks, the top of the world basketball tournament. Right now, their friends on the football team lead 21-10 with the wind behind Duncan. He just kicked a 200-yard field goal. I mean, that thing's up on the hill, about 30 yards past the goalpost.
He was kicking against the wind early in the game. As you watch Quentin, he's sitting on the sideline and said, that wasn't nothing. That's just a cut I do every day at home on the playground. But he was kicking against the wind, and the ball was making it to the end zone. That is a strong leg.
You bet. By the way, if you're wondering where Shad Williams is, the true freshman running back from Andrews, Texas, for the Red Raiders, he's banged up, can't go today, not available. Here's Morris trying to spin away, but he could not from the tackle of Michael Thompson. With 1:48, 1:47 to go, clock moving in the second quarter. Tech has seen Oklahoma score 21 unanswered points. One of the things that Texas Tech can't have happen today, they can't get in a shootout with Oklahoma. Flag comes in the area, holding. The referee threw the flag. Kingsbury's chased down by Callens out of bounds, and it will be holding against the Red Raiders.
Well, Kingsbury has been doing a great job with the play action and some trick plays earlier, but you don't want to get yourself in the hole on third down and long or second down and long against this Oklahoma team, because their secondary is pretty good.
Final regular season game today for Texas Tech. Oklahoma next Saturday has the Bedlam game with the Oklahoma State Cowboys in Norman.
That's one of those big-time rivalries.
On the offense, half the distance from the start of the ball.
It's one of those rivalries, no matter how good Oklahoma is or Oklahoma State is, it's always a good, close game.
He played, what, 4 of those?
Played 4 of them. One notable one was the Ice Bowl. The score was really close because the whole ground was frozen. We're in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
I know how much you love the cold. You're probably thrilled to death, huh?
Oh, yeah.
If it's below 80 degrees, Jackson has a parka on. Sammy Morris. And nothing there. That'll be third down. Right now, Texas Tech wants to run out the clock and get into the locker room. Oklahoma will seize the opportunity to call timeout. 58 seconds left. Bobby Stoops, what a great first year he has had so far in Norman, 6-3. Of course, he knows the conference well, the defensive coordinator at Kansas State for a few years before joining Steve Spurrier in Florida.
You know, it's so funny, we were talking to him yesterday, Bob Stoops, and we said, what's your run-to-pass ratio? He goes, I don't have a run-to-pass ratio. He said, I have a scoring ratio. That's it. If we score a lot of points, we win.
And you know, it's a great point. He said last year the defense was terrific statistically, but they gave up too many points. He said this year, all we're concerned about is how many we score and how many we prevent the other team from scoring. And that really is the bottom line in football, isn't it?
That is, and it's working.
And offensively is where they've made the greatest strides. Mike Leach has brought that passing attack from the University of Kentucky, and they're now 8th in the country in scoring. In fact, Keith Jackson, and you played on some prolific teams with the Sooners, only 7 Sooner teams have averaged more points in a season than Oklahoma is averaging right now at better than 37 a game. That's saying something.
That's saying a lot, considering all the great running backs that they had at Oklahoma. But this is a different offense, and they're putting it in the air.
Kingsbury throwing, and it is broken up by Barty. Actually, it's Roy Williams, 38, not 28. Roy Williams broke on the football. Derek Doris, the intended target. And now with 52 seconds left, the Red Raiders have to punt.
Roy Williams does a great job of getting out there on that ball. That's another safety that has the ability to cover a receiver. But if he had caught that one, he took it to the house. That was one of those ones that Kingsbury said, boy, I threw that one just a little bit too late.
Rosales really needs to get off a good punt here. The dangerous Jarrell Jackson back at the 43-yard line. Pressure coming. Better effort by Rosales into the wind. Jackson calls a fair catch and makes it at the 40-yard line. And 44 seconds left for the Sooners, so they have plenty of time to perhaps score some more points, leading 21-10. And they have the ability to strike quickly, as everybody knows who has followed Oklahoma football this year.
And normally when you have a quick striking offense, when you see that, they have 27 plays that they've scored, and 27 times they scored 6 plays or less. But when you have a quick striking offense, normally you don't want that. Bob Stoops said, I love it.
Heupel down the middle, he throws an interception to Norman. And Norman's dragged down at the 42-yard line by Daniels. But John Norman gets his second interception of the game, and he's talking to his brother, I imagine.
Well, he's a dangerous guy to get the ball with his return skills. Boy, he catches an interception, he can take it to the house. John Norman can.
And now with the football out at the 42 in 35 seconds, you wonder if the Red Raiders will take a chance or two.
It looks like a little miscommunication. You see Daniels, he pulls up, and Heupel thinks he's going to keep on going, but John Norman kept on going and caught the ball that time.
Kingsbury will throw it. And he's got a man, Doris, to the 30-yard line. That was a frozen rope.
Well, they talked about how great his arm was. He got a chance to show it on that one. Going down the center of the field, a strike.
2 timeouts left for Texas Tech. That was an advance of 28. Trips to the near side. Oh, nearly intercepted. Rodney Rideau breaking on the football, had it in his mitts, and he couldn't squeeze it.
I talked about how important Rodney Rideau was to this defense. This is a trap. You put Mike Woods behind the receiver, you tell Rideau, you jump the inside. They trapped him and almost took that ball to the house. Kingsbury got to be careful with throwing the ball in the secondary, because this defense of Oklahoma does a great job of trapping you and throwing the ball where they want you to throw it.
Here's a double move, not there on the other side. Now an end zone shot, and over the head of Tim Baker, who's 6'5". So if you're going to throw a jump ball, good idea to go to Baker.
And that's not a bad play for them to throw the ball down there and just hopefully one of their receivers. You got Baker at 6'5", going down the middle of the field. Why not take a shot down the middle of the field? And Kingsbury sees him down there and he says, wait a minute, this guy's 6'5". Let me give him an opportunity to go up and get this ball. And receivers are taught that if you can't catch it, make sure that the defensive back can't catch it.
And Texas Tech will use one of their timeouts with 16 seconds left. So you basically have a couple of options, I would think, Keith. You can take another end zone shot and then try a 47-yard field goal, but you're kicking it into the wind. You may want to just try to pick up, 10, 12 yards here and try to get a field goal and go into the half down 8.
Well, I think that you definitely should think about just moving the ball up a little bit. You got one more timeout that you can call. You got one more timeout left that you can call timeout, and then take another shot at the end zone. 16 seconds is a long time, but he's got to get the ball back, and he's got to deliver it and get rid of it and hope he completes it to get that movement.
Rick Dykes pondering the situation.
You got Rick Dykes up there in the box, but then you got Dick Winder, who's really an offensive coordinator mind down on the field. That helps you out tremendously if you're a young quarterback.
And that's what Kingsbury is, just a redshirt freshman. But he is the man today with Rob Peters unavailable. Well, they're going to go for some yardage. That's incomplete. Oh, man. Jackson took a wallop from Barty.
that Barty is not only a cover guy, he'll come up and strike you. Boy, you want to listen to a hit. Listen to this. That's the way they draw it up. They teach it that way. Put those shoulder pads and bring them down.
And so now it's 4th down, and they have to attempt the field goal. 47 yards for Burkholz into a pretty good wind. Pretty good effort. He got it through. Longest of the year for Chris Burkholz, the junior from Temple, Texas. And the Red Raiders are within a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
I'll tell you what, this time he goes through that follow-through and he kicks it right down the center. Now he doesn't have to worry about wiggling and making it go in like he did the one he missed earlier in the game.
I'll tell you what, that is a strong kick. You saw the wind a moment ago, how far Duncan kicked the ball on his kickoff because he had the wind at his back. Burkholz just stroked a 47-yarder into a pretty strong wind.
And we were up here saying they should get the first down and move the chains a little bit. He just steps out there with that leg, Burkholz, and just knocks it through. And they need points because Oklahoma can score points, so they need points any way they can. And it looks like Coach Dykes is happy about that one.
It's one of Spike's favorite phrases. If he likes you, he'll say, "Ah, you're a mess." Right now I say, "Chris Burkholz, you're a mess."
But what a coach to play for.
If you can't get ready for and enjoy playing for Spike Dykes, you can't play for anybody.
He seems like the type of coach that would be your dad away from home. Make sure you get tucked in before 12 o'clock at night.
They keep it away from Daniels, and Seth Luttrell calls a fair catch, which is perfectly legal on a kick at the 19-yard line. And also, if you call a fair catch on a kick, you have a opportunity on a kickoff return to get a free kick. But this would be a 92-yard field goal attempt. I don't think we're going to see that even with the wind at Duncan's back. 8 seconds to go in the first half. That would be a story, wouldn't it?
I would love to see the kicker that could make it happen.
There's our Buick scoring drive. 5 plays, 28 yards. Burkholz from 47 yards away after Heupel threw his first pick in 115 attempts. He's been that good. And Josh will put his knee down and head off to the locker room. It was entertaining in the first half. Perhaps the final home football game for Spike Dykes, and he is with Jim Knox. Jim?
Okay, thanks, Drew. Spike, I tell you what, got the big lift towards the end of the first half with Burkholz's long field goal. Still down by 8. What do you tell your club at the break?
Then we got a long way to go. We got 30 more minutes, so we got to go in and regroup a little bit. We got to play hard and got a chance.
Any changes?
I mean, changes. We got to keep on keeping on, make some plays.
All right, thanks, Coach. Best of luck in the second half, Drew.
That's what Spike has done for years. Keep on keeping on. The Red Raiders at home trailing the Oklahoma Sooners 21-13. Coming up next, the Sonic America's Drive-In Halftime Report. Last bowl game for the Oklahoma Sooners, 1994. They lost to BYU in the Copper Bowl. Right now, they're up 8. They'll be bowling over the holidays. They come in at 6-3. Heupel out of the gun from the 26-yard line. Griffin on the shuttle pass. Curtis makes the tackle, but an advance of 16.
That was a great play call by Mike Leach. What you do is you invite the defense that's been aggressive all day long upfield and run a shuffle pass under. And when you have a running back like Quentin Griffin, he can get in the open field and make things happen. But he's going against the sure tackler, Curtis, on that play.
Devin Lemons was right there in position, either bat it down or even catch it, and it went right past him. And this one was off in terms of timing as Reggie Skinner got the football. Whistles blew. Tom Allers will tell us about it momentarily.
Good ball. Ball start. Prior to the snap. 5 yards. Repeat the down.
Let's take a look at our efollett.com lineman profile. Taurus Rucker, senior defensive end for Texas Tech, 6 of the 12 sacks this year for the Red Raiders, and he's second among defensive linemen with 5.5 tackles basically a game, second to Justin Smith of Missouri. He didn't get a lot of attention last year because of Monte Rager, now plays for the Denver Broncos, but he's a good football player. Here's Skinner on his first carry of the day, and he works his way out to the 39-yard line. John Norman will get credit for the tackle. Here's Taurus Rucker, and let's see how he did on this play.
Well, he's thinking sack, so he's going to get the sack, but then they sucker him in and get him in there and get him caught in that trap. He's trying to get back there to the quarterback. You know what happens when you throw the ball so much during the game, your first step is to go and get the quarterback. And that's why it's so important to have that balanced running attack.
Rucker, one of the captains for Spike Dykes. 2nd and 12. Daniels in motion. And that pass from Heupel behind Daniels. You don't see it too often. I think this has been only twice today that Heupel has been on the wrong page with one of his receivers. One of them ended in an interception, and the other one was probably right there.
Well, the first one, we don't know who was at fault. But that one, we do know that Heupel was a little bit off the mark, and you're exactly right. You don't see that often. He is an accurate passer, and he's been getting time from his offensive line, who's been doing a terrific job starting in second half.
He played at Snow Junior College last year, began his collegiate career at Weber State. They send the house. Heupel unloads, and he nearly threw an interception. Now the flag comes in. Daniels got knocked down, maybe a beat early by Keith Cockrum.
That looked like somebody got there a little bit too early. Now, there were 2 receivers standing in the position. Daniels was one of them, and then you had Norman against Norman standing in the same area.
Well, they sold the house. They brought everybody.
Who's coming across on a crossing route right there, and they're saying he's behind the line of scrimmage, so therefore
he's a running back. You can hit him. He's a receiver.
Linebackers love that too, Drew. They love the fact they can knock you out crossing.
Jeff Ferguson will punt. John Norman back at the 25, and once again a stoppage in play. Set up a return. Ferguson punts it into the wind. Norman. Yeah, that's a halo infraction right there, and he's got the wall. Norman. I think he stepped out at the 39-yard line. Flags flew back to the 29. It's either a halo infraction, and the only way it's not is if he somehow put his arm up to indicate fair catch and then started running with it. I didn't see that, though. I think it's a halo infraction.
I think it was a halo infraction. It might be something else on Texas Tech, maybe holding or something, 2 different penalties.
On the kicking team, decline, first down,
You bet they'll decline it. A long return by Norman.
John Norman has made 2 big plays today. This is one of them. He doesn't take a fair catch. He's right there. He sees the guys there, but he says, on special teams, I've got to make a big play to bring my team back. That was a huge play. You remember early in the game, he picked one up that was rolling. He is taking this game upon his back, and he's making plays. He's trying to outdo his other brother. That's what he's trying to do. He's going to show him, hey, I had a better game than you did, and that was a huge play.
He's trying to become the favorite son at home. 33 yards on the return, and the Red Raiders down 8. Set up shop at the +38. option pass. Kingsbury wants the deep ball. And over the head by a long margin of Tim Baker. And that was by design. Those first two options they showed, all to set up that play. Coaches don't just think singularly, do they?
No. One thing you got to remind yourself is that Kingsbury is not really option quarterback. So they're doing that for a reason. And that's exactly right. That is the reason. He looked for his tight end. His tight end was covered, so he tried to go outside to his wide receiver, and his wide receiver got knocked off the route.
Inside handoff, Morris, big opening. Sammy Morris hammering people over all the way to the 18-yard line. Physical run by Morris, the senior from San Antonio.
Boy, Morris can get it done. Talking to Coach Dykes, he said he is my MVP. And the things he does is this is kind of like one of those delays, and he comes back on a counter and he hits the hole. That's impressive. The fact that he can get the ball downfield, but the shoulder dropping down and driving is what's more impressive.
Give it to Sammy again. Give him 5 to the 13. Tech over the years has produced so many outstanding running backs. James Gray, Bam Morris, no relation, Byron Hanspard, Ricky Williams, who is sitting this year out after being injured in the first game of the season. They stick in Sammy Morris.
Boy, you're talking about pro scouts drooling. They should just call him the Slash of Texas Tech. He can get it all done.
And for the second time today,
at an inopportune time.
At an inopportune time, Cliff Kingsbury just falls to the turf, and I think his foot was stepped on again, and that was 2nd and 5. So instead of 3rd down and short or whatever they got on that play, now you're looking at 3rd down and about 7. The center is Kyle Sanders, who has made every snap this year on offense. Let's see who steps on his foot. It is the center, Sanders. Blitz coming. Did they time that right? I don't see any flags down. Torrance Marshall, it's like he knew the snap count.
He was the one that they said could get home. He just timed that perfectly. He's in the middle. The ball is coming up at the same time. He's coming across, and he gets there. Kingsbury cannot even set up.
Marshall was in the backfield before Kingsbury dropped back.
You know what happens with linebackers and linemen? They start listening to the count, and they anticipate the count. Now Kingsbury has to come back the next time and change his count. He's got to make sure that he does that.
Part of the learning process for Cliff Kingsbury in his first career start. Now they'll attempt a field goal of 36 yards. Burkholz earlier hit from 47 yards. Texas Tech. It is now 21-16. All set up by this John Norman punt return. Good football game in Lubbock, Texas. The Red Raiders need a win to become bowl eligible. Oklahoma wants their 7th win of the year, 21-16 after Burkholz kicked the 36-yarder. 7:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. With Keith Jackson and Jim Knox, I'm Drew Goodman. Brandon Daniels from the 4. And good job on the coverage unit by the Red Raiders. He goes out of bounds right around the 20-yard line. There's Cliff Kingsbury, and the biggest play in that sequence was when he got his foot stepped on, because it was 2nd down, about 4.5 yards to go. They're right on schedule. They have a chance to score a touchdown, and instead of 3rd and short or whatever they produced again, you're now looking at 3rd and 8.
But you know what? I don't think that anybody's at fault. You got Kingsbury. This is like his first game really starting, and the center is used to snapping the ball to Rob Peters. So he takes a different step out than Rob Peters does, and that's just something that you've got to learn over time, and they hadn't had the time to do that.
Great point. Heupel hands to Skinner. And Skinner gets skinny and gets across the 25-yard line to the 26 before Chris Kasurik could bring him down.
I tell you what, they got those little bitty running backs. Skinner only 5'8", 201.
But they're growing because Thornton's not in there. He was 5'5". Quentin Griffin scored twice today. He's 5'6". Skinner's enormous. He's 5'8".
It's hard to see him, too, when they pop through the line.
Skinner again, and I think he's going to have enough for a first down. Look at that, a throwback. Oklahoma ran it 2 successive downs.
I tell you what, I said there has to be some balanced attack in this offense, and it has been. They just hadn't started to come out and throwing the ball. They still have a lead, but not a commanding lead. So what they've got to do is they still got to keep that balanced attack going. But they've got to please that head coach, Bob Stoops, and they got to put some points on the board.
First and 10. And now Heupel is going to change the play. Play clock down to 1. And they run again. Kyle Shipley comes up and puts his face mask right on Reggie Skinner. The last week and a half, the Sooners have run the football well. First 8 games, 111. Last week against Iowa State, 301. And maybe the most impressive thing, and all you need to know about the Oklahoma running attack this year, yeah, they don't run it as much or even close to what they used to, but they average 4.5 yards every time they do run it. And that's a good number.
That is a great number, but when you have so many people spread out like they run the spread formation now, you got one back, it's easy to find holes.
Here's Griffin. He breaks one tackle, but he can't break the tackle of Kevin Curtis. What a star number 31 is going to be. Just a sophomore. And again, not widely recruited because he was a high school quarterback.
Well, the one thing Curtis gives you, he gives you that sure tackle, and he wants to be around. He has great range to get to balls, and he gets there. Once he has his arm around you, you might as well go down.
Campbell, the secondary coach, his son played with Curtis in high school, so Dean Campbell knew all about the athletic ability of Curtis. Third down, Heupel hit. Is that a fumble? Loose ball. No whistle yet. Still loose. Curtis has it to the goal line. First and goal, Texas Tech. Kyle Shipley made the sack and knocked it free. And Kevin Curtis makes another big play coming up with a rock. That's what I'm talking about. What a play right there.
We had talked about Curtis being that man always on the spot. Shipley does a great job of knocking that ball out. Heupel arm did not go forward, and Kevin Curtis was there to pick it up for his 3rd fumble recovery of the day. And this defense is trying to score.
Kingsbury trying to take it himself, and they didn't get a lot of movement. It'll be 2nd and goal.
I love the fact that Texas Tech defense is saying we've got to score, we've got to make plays. We got a young quarterback, we can't depend on him. Because most of the time you believe that you would just go down and cover up a fumble and get the ball. Nope, that's not what happened. Curtis picked up the ball and ran the ball all the way down to the 1-yard line because he believes that defense has to score.
Kingsbury again, and this time he gets his 6'4" frame into the end zone. Been a resilient bunch, and they have always been a special football team here in Lubbock. This year, like 2 different squads.
Boy, I tell you what, they just come one game to play. The next game, it just seems like they can't get it done, but they can handle the adversity.
And They'll go for 2 with a 1-point separation, and Kingsbury calls a timeout. Now remember, they called a timeout right at the start of the third quarter. They are down to 1 timeout the rest of the way. The reason you want to go for 2, obviously, Keith, to get that 3-point separation.
Yeah, you want to make this a 3-point game. You want to make sure that it is a 3-point game, and the only thing that can beat you is a field goal. You'd like to make sure it's a 4-point game, but they can't do it in this case, so they have to score a touchdown. But I believe that you go for all the points you can get, and there's Curtis right there. He's making plays. A lot of people fell asleep on him, but I tell you what, it's great to have a guy who can come in and make plays the way that Curtis has for this team. A sure tackler, but he's a playmaker also. When you look at his numbers, he's done a terrific job for Texas Tech this year. He's leading the team in tackling, got 3 interceptions, and then that's his 3rd fumble recovery of this year. So he's doing a terrific job for this Tech team. And the coach talked about the fact, Drew, that he has range. They can throw a ball in the air, and you don't think he can get to him, but he gets to it.
Well, Oklahoma knows him well. Last year he made 12 tackles against the Sooners. Here's the hit by Shipley, who's had a large game also. And then the mad scramble. And doesn't it always seem like great players come out of those mad scrambles with football?
Man, it's just some guys have a way of knowing how to get to the football.
Here we go on the 2-point conversion. Jackson in motion. Kingsbury on the backside. He's got it. Sammy Morris. And it is 24-21, Red Raiders. Kingsbury came back to the backside, and he found his running back, Morris. Kyle Shipley, number 83. What a great career he has had at Texas Tech. He's now working on his MBA. He already has an undergraduate degree in finance, terrific student, and a tremendous football player. His sack knocked the ball loose. Curtis picked it up, and that set up the 1-yard touchdown by Kingsbury. And Tech now leads Oklahoma 24-21. 4:39 to go in the third quarter. Daniels will get another shot here. And the Red Raiders always fine on special teams. Stop them at the 21-yard line. Let's watch that 2-point conversion again.
Well, D. Jackson is going in motion. He's the guy that Kingsbury's looking for, but he's not there. He's looking to his right. He's not there. He comes back all the way across field to his secondary receiver. Now, that is great poise by a redshirt freshman quarterback, and he gets the ball to Sammy Morris in the back of the end zone for a 2-point conversion.
More and more, we understand why Rick Dykes really likes Kingsbury's potential. The scoring drive, 2 plays, 1 yard. Kingsbury took it in himself after the forced fumble by Kyle Shipley. They say that Kingsbury is one of those hyperactive guys that you almost never see standing still, and you almost never see without a football in his hand, either throwing it to somebody or tossing it up in the air to himself.
He said after practice, there'll be some young kids out there walking around, and he's played catch with them. They almost had to lock him in because he's still out there throwing the ball to young kids, and he's just excited about the game. That's what you call a football player. He's a football player.
You bet. Yeah, if you're old enough to catch, you're old enough to have a catch with Kingsbury. Throws it in the flat. And they'll get about 4 yards. Chris Hammonds, the tight end, junior from Sulphur, Oklahoma, and tackled again by Kevin Curtis, who's piling up another big day of stats.
Well, the one thing about it, Hammonds is a tight end. He's carrying that ball loose. He's waving it around right there. You see it out in the open, and that can cause a fumble. He takes it over like he's playing basketball, a crossover. You got to tuck that ball away. But that was a nice little move by the big fella, Hammonds.
3 turnovers for the Sooners today, none for the Red Raiders. Here's Fagan, and he winds his way to the 31-yard line, very close to a first down. Guess who made the tackle, Keith?
How about Curtis? We said, Mama, here come that man again. He just keeps knocking on the door. He keeps getting there. They go back to the well. You know, if it works the first time with the tight end, you come back and you throw it to the wide receiver. That's just a screenplay setup. They've done it over and over again, but if it works, keep going to it. It's a safe play, and it helps you get first down. That's great play calling.
Yeah, he thinks it's Halloween every day. He comes trick-or-treating every day at your doorstep.
Well, he'll knock on your door now.
It was a first down, 1st and 10, Oklahoma. Movement up front, and a free one for the Sooners. Or maybe not. Now they're going to blow it dead. Perhaps Robert Wyatt was drawn offside.
But if not, you see the difference between age. You see Heupel, who's doing a great job of varying his cadence, and then you see Kingsbury, who's not doing it. And you can gain you 5 yards by getting that defense off sides.
Red ball, prior to the snap, defense with contact. 5 yards, repeat the down.
Well, the reason they didn't get a free one is evidently there was contact also before the snap.
There's some contact it's on the right side of your line, left side of the screen. He jumps off right there and moves a little bit, and he causes contact right there, and that stops the play.
First and 5 for Oklahoma. 3 receivers to the top. Luttrell in the backfield with Heupel. Blitz coming. Heupel throws it to flat. Daniels cut down immediately by Oscar Solis, the senior quarterback from Slayton, Texas. Good play by Solis, the former walk-on. It'll be 2nd and 2.
You notice Oklahoma not going for the home run balls right now? Just a little quick dinking and dunking.
And they go conservative on 2nd and short. Quarterback sneak gains about 3 yards, and they'll move the chains again. Heupel was a junior college All-American at Snow Junior College, and he really appealed to Mike Leach, the new offensive coordinator of the passing game for the Sooners, because at Snow, he ran a very similar offense to the one Leach brought to Norman, Oklahoma. Heupel has Daniels, and Daniels is tackled by Cockrow. Fancy play, but it only gains about 4 yards. Mike Leach is a very creative offensive coordinator, isn't he?
Well, what he's doing is he's using his bag of tricks. He's making sure that he takes care of the ball, moves the ball downfield, make sure he doesn't get in a hurry, and that's why he's doing a great job, Mike Leach, right now, and keep picking up first downs.
Flicker. Deep ball to Fagan. He had it and lost it. Solis with the coverage. But once again, Heupel put it right where it had to be.
I tell you what, Heupel's done a great job of throwing that ball today and just dropping the ball in. But the former walk-on, Oscar Solis, has made 2 big plays. The tackle on Brandon Daniels, and this bomb right there. He gets the ball and pulls it out. And then you see Curtis. Curtis was kind of up in the line. He's been making all the tackles. He bit on the plate. He has to get back. But Solis got it all handled outside, one-on-one.
3rd and 7. Heupel, and it'll be 4th down. Andre Wolfuk was the intended target.
Well, I tell you what, they were sneaking him out to bring him on a crossing route, and he just a little bit high, but you got to come down with that one. It's a big 3rd down catch, and Heupel knows it. He's like, oh, that's in there. Oh, man, we got to have that one.
Jeff Ferguson in the game to punt. And the Raiders were coming after it. And Norman does a good job getting it out to the 33-yard line. The Red Raiders have a 3-point lead in the football after the 32-yard punt.
You know, they talk about playmakers. John Norman is a playmaker. He's a guy, we might not see him fair catch for the rest of the day because he wants to make a play on that punt return. And that wasn't a lot of yards on the punt return, but it gets you another first down. You don't have to go after it.
Kingsbury gets away. Now a man's all by himself. This is going to be a touchdown. It's Morris. Screen, and Kingsbury showed his strength, shaking free twice, 67-yard touchdown. Level of emotion can make you do things beyond your ability sometimes. Chris Burkholz makes it 31-21, Texas Tech. Remember, at halftime it was 21-13, Oklahoma.
Now you talked all day about the other quarterback, Josh Heupel, but this time it's all Kingsbury. He does a great job of breaking the tackle. Now, if you're in the secondary, you think he's sacked, so you stop your coverage, but he's not sacked. He comes out and has a wide open Sammy Morris for a touchdown, and he knows no one's going to catch him. Now, this is supposed to be a sack right here. There's Barry Holloman. He's supposed to pull him down. He misses the tackle. Fisher can't get to him, so he's got a wide open guy, and Sammy Morris running down the field. Nobody's with him. The defensive back have dropped their coverage because they thought it was already a sack. That was all Cliff Kingsbury. And Kingsbury, you think he's happy about what he just did? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
1:13 to go in the third quarter. The Red Raiders by 10. They want to go bowling, and they want to send Spike Dykes out the right way. Spike Dykes is a guy that hung in there, by the way, with Sammy Morris, because Sammy Morris had some academic problems, some off-the-field problems, and many coaches might have run a guy off. He was ineligible for 2 years, but Spike Dykes said, once you're part of my family, we're not going to let you go when things aren't going well. And Sammy Morris has completely turned his life around. He's now married with a little baby, and he's doing very well academically, and he's the happiest guy in Jones Stadium at the moment.
And he will graduate in May. And don't forget, he came back from 2 years of being out of the game, and they still voted him team captain, Sammy Morris.
Well, it tells you a lot about that young man, and also tells you a lot about Spike Dykes.
Boy, I tell you what, you know, when you discern people's spirits, you discern Spike Dykes' spirit. He is a gentle, kind, loving man.
You said it best. 10-point lead for Texas Tech. Now Oklahoma wants to respond. They give it to Reggie Skinner. And that Red Raider defense, which has played pretty well, is fired up. Boy, and after the snap, you see Stalker McDougal go flying backwards. That's a big man to go backwards. There's 360 pounds.
There's been a battle going on all day long in that offensive line with Stalker McDougal and the defensive end of Texas Tech, and he's been handling them. On that one of them got a little upset and shoved him, and I've never seen Wade move like that.
The stadium shifted momentarily. There's seismic activity. Heupel's throw complete. Good catch by Antoine Savage, the first catch for the true freshman today. And let's pay a visit again to Jim Knox. Knoxy, what do you have?
Okay, Drew, Josh Heupel, just in that quick series when he was on the sideline, they wrapped both his knees. Apparently, the Texas Tech Red Raider defense has put Heupel on his back quite a bit today. He's also received a number of turf burns on the knee. So if you look at his knees, they're both wrapped with bandages now due to turf burns here this afternoon.
Yeah, you got to cover those knees now, because that turf burn doesn't feel good.
And it stays with you for what, 6 months? Skinner. Again, not much. Kyle Shipley in the middle of things. He and Kevin Curtis have had enormous days defensively. Shipley, a senior from Arlington, Texas. First team academic all Big 12 last year. And that will be the final play of the third quarter. It's been fun in Lubbock. And the Red Raider faithful are pleased. Their team leads by 10. We begin the fourth quarter in Lubbock, 31-21. Texas Tech leading OU. The Sooners have the football 2nd and 8 at their own 36-yard line. Heupel with Josh Norman next to him. Blitz coming. Heupel gets it away. Daniels will not break the tackle of Reagan bounds, but we got about 7. It'll be 3rd down and short as we check our National Car Rental game summary. Oklahoma, 21 unanswered points in the first half after trailing 10-0, and now it's Tech's turn to go on a run. 18 straight here in the second half. Kingsbury, 30 yards of completion, Keith Jackson, and maybe the biggest stat of all, the 3 turnovers.
Yeah, and Tech is taking care of the ball. 0 turnovers.
3rd and short, Heupel all day, deep shot, and over the outstretched arms of Antoine Savage, and he was there.
I believe in college football, at times the wind can be your friend, and at times it can be your enemy. It just looked like the ball hung up there a little bit longer because the wind caught the ball on that play. Looking at the end of the play, that ball looked like it's coming down, and it just looked like the wind just takes it just a little bit farther so Savage can make the big catch.
They went for the big play on 3rd and short. Doesn't pay off. They'll have to punt. Jeff Ferguson from about his own 33-yard line. Oh, man, he hammers this thing. Oh, goodness. That'll go in the end zone. That is a 66, check it, a 58-yard punt. Got to work on my math. 31-21, Red Raiders. We're back after this. 31-21, Texas Tech. Bobby Stoops' biggest concern in this football game, he told us yesterday, was playing the Red Raiders in this stadium on senior day with the rumor that it would be Spike Dykes' last football game in this stadium. He said, I know they're going to be flying around, and they have. The Red Raiders lead by 10 over the favorite Oklahoma Sooners. And movement at the line of scrimmage.
You think Kingsbury changed his cadence that time? Got him to jump offside. Had been going on the same snap count over and over again. This time he changes it up.
Dead ball. Offside on the defense. Target the snap with contact. 5 yards. Repeat first down.
Well, he's a quick study.
Now he looks like the veteran out there. He's doing everything it takes to help his team to win, and that was a veteran move. You can't tell that he's a redshirt freshman in this game so far.
Making his first career start. You have to like his future. Sammy Morris. He's going to lose a couple of yards. Kalmus is there. 94, Ryan Fisher, about 4 or 5 white jerseys around the football. The third quarter dominated by Texas Tech. Burkholz kicked a field goal early on. And then after a turnover from the 1-yard line, they get a sneak from Kingsbury. And maybe the biggest play of the game, Kingsbury shakes free on a near sack and finds Sammy Morris. Second time Morris has gotten in the end zone. Kingsbury on a run-throw option. We're running out close to the 30-yard line before he's tackled by the strong safety, Roy Williams.
Well, he's trying to get this game won any way he can. Even the ability to run, to pass, to draw people off sides with cadence. He's done it all today, Kingsbury has.
foot to go for a first down. Morris, good vision by Morris. And he'll get the first down and pick up another 5 out to about the 35-yard line. Little subtle move right after he got the football from Kingsbury.
Well, that was 225 pounds making a nice cut. He waited for the hole to develop, and then he burst through it. That's a lot of weight to move around. That's why the pro scouts are saying, we need to take a look at this guy. He can do it all.
Moving inside 12 and a half to go in the football game when they snap the ball. And as is their style, they sprint up to the line of scrimmage. Inside handoff, Morris makes another pretty good cut. Stiff arms one guy and gets 5 yards. That was pretty much all Sammy Morris on that play. Roger Steffen finally brought him to the turf. Sammy's pretty strong.
Boy, he stepped on a defensive lineman and pushed him off him. Said, get off me. Let's watch this at full speed. He gets that inside trap. They run it all day. Then he's coming off. And then Corey Callens tried to make a tackle, and he just stiffs arm him and then goes and get 2 to 3 more extra yards.
Callens about 260. Second down. About 5.5 to go. Easterling, big opening. And he lowers his pads for a first down. And this is vintage Red Raider football. They like to run the football between the tackles.
Well, what they're going to do is they're going to take it. He's going to be right here, Easterling, and he's going to run that ball right between that gap. He's going to wait for the hole to open up. They do a great job delaying. A delay step, then he hands the ball open, and there's the big hole right there, and he gets through it. And that's the first down. And they've got to keep those chains moving, and they've got to keep the clock going if they want to be in this game and keep Oklahoma on the sideline, offense on the sideline.
And the guy who got the kick-out block was Morris, who lined up at fullback. Here's Easterling. Another good gain, crosses midfield, 42-yard line of Oklahoma. Another Texas Tech first down. Marshall bounced him out.
If you're Oklahoma, you do not want Texas Tech to start running the ball on you right now, because that's making that clock tick and tick, and you're 2 scores down. Now, Morris can do it all. He can do it all. He can catch it, he can run it, but the one thing he can do is he can block. He drops that shoulder right there on Williams to open up the hole. That's a great job by blocking by number 85, D. Jackson. He's doing a terrific job downfield, and that's what caused that first down.
And Oklahoma, they had jumped again.
Now, I know that Rick Dykes, offensive coordinator, said, you've got to change your snap count a little bit. You've got to change that cadence a little bit, and it's worked twice for him.
Good ball, offside, with contact, prior to the snap, on the defense, 5 yards.
And when you get at this part of the game, every yard counts. And when you can get 5 free, then that hurts.
You take it. There's Brent Venables, co-defensive coordinator with Mike Stoops at Oklahoma. And we've seen Brent, he gets so fired up, former Kansas State linebacker during the game. I'm worried that he's going to throw the headset down and run out there without any equipment on. Morris, good hit in the hole by Rocky Kalmus. The Jenks, Oklahoma product. Tied a team record earlier this year in their loss to Colorado. He had 22 tackles. The only other Sooner to produce 22 tackles in a game. Old teammate of yours, the Boz.
Yeah, Rocky Kalmus has been doing a terrific job. They say that the way he gets it done is a little unorthodox. It's not with the situation that you would want, because he ducks under blocks and everything, but he does a great job.
Sammy Morris is the Red Raider on the field. We'll check on his condition in a moment. 31-21, Texas Tech. The good news is Sammy Morris walked off the field under his own power as he continues to talk to the medical staff on the Red Raiders sideline. This is exactly what Texas Tech wanted. 7-play, 45-yard drive so far, all on the ground. Another running play as they use some more clock. Roy Williams Trojans knocked out James Easterling, at least knocked him out of bounds. Not literally knocked him out. Now a Sooner player is down at the 35-yard line. And it's 96, Jeremy Wilson Guest, 300-pounder from Jones, Oklahoma. There's a lot of hitting going on.
Well, this has been a physical game, but this is the way you like to hear football. When you get a chance to listen to it and hear those pads come together. You look at Morse, he's on the sideline. Then you got Jeremy Wilson, guess who's down. They're really getting physical. This is two teams who are trying to end this season the right way. Oklahoma has a game next week, but when you look at these two teams coming down to the end of it, boy, they are popping each other. The effort, the blocking downfield, the stuff that you're seeing so far is just the way football should be played.
Jeremy Wilson Guest started his career at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville and then transferred to Norman, Oklahoma. Of course, Keith Jackson's from Little Rock, and folks in Arkansas was hoping that one Keith Jackson transferred from Oklahoma back to Arkansas, but that, of course, never happened. I'm surprised they let you back in that state. We'll go to break as Wilson Guest works his way off the field. 31-21. 3rd and 2 for the Red Raiders at the plus 34-yard line. Renda and Easterling in the backfield. Easterling will not get to the sticks. He was stopped after maybe a yard. That's about all. And it'll be 4th down. Let's go downstairs, check on the injuries with Jim Knox. Knoxy?
All right, good news for Red Raider fans. As you can see, Sammy Morris is up, walking around, even had a few smiles. He's just getting a breather right now. A hard hit on the shin by Rocky Columbus caused him to the bench, but he's okay. He's going to go back in.
All right, Jim, thank you. And on 4th down, that gray area, they'd have to attempt a 49-yarder basically, or a 51-yarder into the wind. So they're going to go for it. Easterling sticks it up in there, and I don't think he got enough. Torrance Marshall closed it down. Easterling ran hard, but Torrance Marshall stood up and made the play. I think it'll be Oklahoma football. Tech, before that snap this year, 3 of 9 going for it on 4th down. And even if they give up the football here, they accomplished one thing. They shortened the game some more.
They did. They start the clock, and you get some more time off the clock. It appears that they are like a yard short on this one. They ran up to the line real quick and got the snap off, thinking they'd catch Oklahoma off guard. Oklahoma did a terrific job that time in stopping that 4th down play.
Yeah, they're indeed short by about a yard. So Oklahoma gets the football.
They get up to that line real quick. They got a hold there. They snap. They get the block off. Oklahoma does a great job of filling and making a tackle. That's Marshall there on the tackle, and Spikes needs that 1st down. He's trying to get it. He's trying to get it for him and move it. He said, oh, man, we didn't get that one. He saw that right away. He didn't need the measuring sticks to see that. He knows how powerful this Oklahoma offense is.
And it doesn't take them a lot of time to score. They bring 5, and on the shuttle, they're going to lose some. Skinner will lose a couple of yards. Robert Wyatt, the 300-pound redshirt freshman from Duncanville, Texas, made the tackle.
You talking about 300 pounds moving. He did a great job of jumping over Powell and making that tackle. We said that Texas Tech whole team plays with emotion, but this defense has been playing great all day long.
They stacked 3 wide receivers to the near side on 2nd and a dozen. And Daniels runs a hook and catches it at the 39, about 5 yards short of a 1st down, wrapped up immediately by Kevin Curtis. And now another Texas Tech player's down, at least on one knee, back at the 25-yard line, and it's the big fella, Wyatt. And he's slowly coming off. Wyatt's been around football all his life. His daddy played in the NFL, Robert Sr. 3rd and 4. Heupel changes the play. They bring 6. Post route to Mackey. Incomplete. Malbro had the coverage. And the Sooners will have to punt.
Well, the one thing you have in Josh Heupel is a guy who understands the game. He knew what was happening. Look at this. All these guys lined up there. It's a blitz coming. He's trying to get one-on-one outside with Mackey, who's made a big catch for a touchdown today. He gets that one-on-one coverage right there on Marlboro, but Marlboro does a great job of tipping the ball at the last minute. Right there. Good coverage. He puts the ball only where it can be put, right there where the receiver can get it. A little trip up right there, but they're not going to call that. That's incidental contact.
You're right. He got a hand on the football. That is tremendous coverage by Malbro, the senior from Beaumont, Texas. And they're going to go for it on 4th and 4. There's still 8:01 to go. This is very interesting. Down just 10. Their own 40. Incomplete. Red Raider football. Kyle Shipley knocked Heupel to the ground as he released it. I'm a little bit surprised with all kinds of time left that they decided to go for it at their own 40-yard line. Are you?
I'm extremely surprised considering it's like 8 minutes left to go in the game and you have a quick striking offense that can move the ball downfield. Now, he had a receiver that he got the ball out to. Brandon Daniels was not able to come up with a catch. He throws out in the flat. He's placing the ball in a great place. The only place it can be put, and Brandon Daniels almost got it. Boy, I tell you what, that was a great job on that play by Bounds. He reached back and pulled it a little bit.
Sammy Morris back in there. Rodney Rideau, the tackle, a couple of yards from Morris. And they're not that far from field goal range. A 2-score separation, 31-21. Clock cranked up, 7:34, 7:33 to go. Bobby Stoops very much concerned. They would have punted with the wind. Easterling, nowhere to go. They'll try this side of the field. Now Kingsbury throws a block for him, and a good one. First down for Easterling. Cliff Kingsbury threw a very good block.
Boy, they needed a player to step up for him today, and that player's been Kingsbury. He goes and put his body in there. Normally, quarterbacks are not thought about being as physical and want to get involved. He pitched the ball out. Easterling has nothing on that side. Oklahoma does a great job of cutting that off, and he cuts all the way back across the green, and then Kingsbury has the mind to go and get a cut block to help him get the first down.
There was Cliff on the turf right in front of Easterling. Brenda in motion. Give it to Easterling again. He cuts it back. And he'll get to the 25-yard line. Dropped by Barry Holloman. Let's update our Red Raiders game plan. How do you grade them?
Well, you're talking about controlling the emotion. Here's a little smiley face because they control their emotion. Got ahead early, then went and trailed, and they retook the lead. That's the way your emotions got to be. You had to find somebody to make a play. Kingsbury just got through making a great block, but he's averaging 30 yards per completion. That's a smiley face. And you talking about a big number. That number 3, that margin, that's a huge smiley face. I tell you what, the Red Raiders have done a great job of their game plan today.
The Red Raiders this year came in -5 overall in turnover ratio. They're now +11 at home. Kingsbury makes a move. Oh boy, he took a lick at the 21-yard line. Took a big shot from Barry Holloman. Actually, it was Corey Heineke. Let me correct that, 89, not 99.
Boy, he fakes that pitch and he comes around. They call that play for him to keep the ball. And Rocky Bright did a great job on the outside of turning that back in.
That turnover differential tells you all about the difference between the Red Raiders at Jones Stadium and when they have to leave Lubbock. +11 at home. And on the road, they've given it away far too many times. 3rd down and 4. Inside 5:15 to go in the 4th quarter. The option. Kingsbury will have a first down. He did a reverse pirouette and said, hey, there's some room here.
I tell you what, Kingsbury saying, I don't have time for you to label me as just a throwing quarterback. I've got to take this team, and I've got to win. And he did a great job of running the ball downfield and getting the first down.
Rocky Kalmus, as you look at Rob Peters, he's saying, hey, my heir apparent's pretty good. Rocky Kalmus is the player down right now, by the way, for the University of Oklahoma. Their sophomore linebacker.
Want to talk about a spin move? Watch this spin move. He does a great job of spinning and then getting his shoulders upfield to go get that first down. He almost looked like a running back. He goes that way and watch the spin move, cut back inside. Too much traffic that way, and then he gets upfield. If I didn't know it myself, I would think that was Morris running the ball. Looks like a running back on that play. Did a great job of getting that first down. And Rocky's still down on the ground. Starting to get up. This has been a physical game. But when you're a part of this game, sometimes your own player will roll up on your leg. Watch this, Rocky, right in that area. He rolls up on the back of his leg. Barry Holloman rolls up on the back of his leg, and that's where he gets injured.
Rocky's trying to walk off under his own power. Last season, a second-team freshman All-American.
Well, let's look at the Sooners. When you look at the balance, we talk about balance. Now, that's not bad for them. They should have more yards in the rushing department, but that's not bad. We'll go ahead and keep that like that. This is important. We said they had to be special on special teams. They hadn't been special today. A partially blocked punt and then a fumble loss on a punt. So we're going to just do a little frown there, and you can't get Tech started. Tech jumped out so great at the beginning of the game. A touchdown and a field goal on the first two possessions, and that's kept them in the game. That's a little frown right there for the Oklahoma Sooners.
And now it's getting to desperation for Oklahoma. They're taking the time off the clock. They have the football at the +14, a fresh set of downs, and the Sooners are down 10. They have to start thinking about tackling the football. Easterling. And he's going to lose a yard. William Barty, 28, grabbed him around the leg.
Boy, in the trenches is where this game is won and lost, and you watch it up there. They're moving people around. Bodies are flying around. There's nowhere to go right there. Easterly tried to cut back across the grain, but Oklahoma would have none of it.
Red Raiders have been a tough team to figure this year. They lose to North Texas at home. Then they beat Texas A&M the next week. Easterling's going to lose a couple of more. But the clock keeps moving. Roger Steffen made the tackle. And now the Sooners will burn a timeout on defense.
You know, you talk about the clock keep moving. Easterling the last time cut back inside instead of going outside and getting pushed out of bounds. That was a smart move on his part because the clock becomes an enemy.
3:59 to go. Texas Tech up 10 on Bob Stoops and the Oklahoma Sooners. Big 12 football is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. By the all-new 2000 Buick LeSabre by Buick, re-engineered to be safer than ever. And by Southwestern Bell. Southwestern Bell, friendly neighborhood global. Bell Tower here on the campus of Texas Tech University in Lubbock. Drew Goodman, Keith Jackson, Jim Knox. The Red Raiders lead it 31-21. Third down and 14 at the +18. Kingsbury, end zone shot, touchdown, what a catch. What a catch by Tim Baker. There is the knockout blow. It's Spike Dykes. In all probability, his final home football game. Has to know that he's going to be smiling broadly in a moment. Baker, the leading receiver for Texas Tech, with his first catch of the day. An enormous one. Burkholz makes it 38-21. Baker from Cliff Kingsbury. If anybody lives a tougher life than a coach's wife, this is Sharon Dykes, the better half of Spike Dykes, and I wonder what they're feeling right now. Spent time at 8 different high schools on his way up the ladder, and he found a home in Lubbock, Texas, but he's a West Texan through and through. The Red Raiders lead the Sooners by 17. Jarrell Jackson works his way out to the 36-yard line. Spike's daughter, BB, in attendance today as well. And it's not just the fact that the Red Raiders are going to win in Spike's last home football game, but they're now bowl eligible. And some bowl around the country, they become the 7th Big 12 team to become bowl eligible. Somebody will take Texas Tech and ought to take Texas Tech because they're fun to watch and because Spike Dykes deserves to go to a bowl game. Heupel's pass. Was it caught? Malbrough and Jarrell Jackson both claiming they have the football. They're going to give it to Jarrell Jackson. Good catch, good throw by Heupel, a pickup of 9 yards.
Well, Oklahoma's going to go into their hurry-up offense, that 2-minute drill, and try to keep the clock, stop the clock from moving so fast on them.
Fagan says he caught it, and they say it hit the ground. And the guys in the striped shirt, they know best, and they're the bosses.
Well, the great thing about him now is that if somebody else saw that, absolutely that he did catch it, they would come in and say he did, but he didn't catch that one. That one hit the ground.
3rd and 1, 38-21, 3:12 left in the 4th quarter. No place to run. Aaron Hunt closed it down, number 98, redshirt freshman from Denison, Texas. Question is, did he get enough for a first down on 3rd and 1? And he did. It'll be a first down. No huddle for Oklahoma. By the way, Heupel now over 300 yards throwing. Once again, he averages more than 300 yards. 27 of 43 unofficially. He has 1 touchdown pass. He's had at least 2 in every game this year. And that is incomplete to Fagan. They're going to say he was out of bounds. I was starting to talk about this a moment ago, Keith. They lose to North Texas. Excuse me. They come back and they beat number 5 Texas A&M the next week. They lose at Oklahoma State by 20, and then they beat Colorado 31-10. They have been a resilient team, not only this year, but really over the years with Spike Dykes in charge. Jackson on a slip screen, and Jonathan Hawkins is going to whip him to the ground.
Well, it's getting late in the game, and it's getting a little hot out there. You got all those seniors from Texas Tech, 21 seniors, 11 starters. They're making plays. They made plays all day for their coach, who may not be here next year.
Heupel complete to Fagan to the 36-yard line.
He's so accurate, it looked like he just guides the ball in. Kingsbury had a big day. He was supposed to be the young freshman, the redshirt freshman. He was supposed to be the guy that was inexperienced. He played like a senior today.
And let's not forget the career of Rob Peters, because he wanted to go badly today. But with the concussion last week, could not. Woolfolk makes the catch, goes out of bounds, first down yardage. But Peters, in his career at Texas Tech, played 9 different positions. He played some tight end, he played a little fullback, played a little wide out, he ran under kicks at one point. And of course, he played a lot of quarterback and did a nice job.
He said he wanted to go out with his pads on, like a cowboy. I want to go out with my boots on. Peter said, I want to go out with my pads on.
And he's another one of those guys, Keith, working on his MBA right now. Did a marvelous job in the classroom as well. Heupel dumps it off to Skinner. Shipley in the neighborhood. And he gets out of bounds. Our Dr. Pepper, player of the game. Can't be anybody else today. Making his first career start, Cliff Kingsbury, 9 of 18, not flashy, but look at the numbers, 259 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That's what makes college football so exciting. You don't know who's going to be the hero from day to day.
Flag comes in, Heupel still surveying the field. He'll throw to Daniels to the 1-yard line, but hold everything. Again, there's been a flag on the turf for about 5 minutes because that play took about 10 minutes.
Well, Heupel was doing a great job of getting out of that pocket and buying time, and that play did take some time to go.
It will count offsides on Texas Tech, so it'll be first and goal at the 1-yard line.
He's also been doing a great job drawing people off sides all day long and then completing his pass. You know he has a free play once he gets the defense offside, and he took full advantage of it on that one.
Norman and Luttrell, and Norman gets the football, and Norman gets in the end zone. So Oklahoma scores, but they are still down a couple of scores with 1:39 to play in the fourth quarter. Give the Red Raiders a lot of credit on defense. This is a Sooner team. Came in 11th in the nation in scoring offense, averaging better than 37 points a game, and they're well beneath that average. The extra point by Duncan is through, and it is 38-28. We'll see an onside kick in a moment, but first our BMW play of the game. This had to be the biggest play of the game. It looks like they're going to sack Kingsbury, who's not the most mobile guy in the world, and then he makes a play to Morris downfield. And that went for a long touchdown. The football game open. Again, if you're just joining us, it's 21-13 at halftime. Oklahoma. And Oklahoma got the football to begin the third quarter. But the Red Raiders have thoroughly dominated the second half.
You know, in the third quarter, Spike Dykes took the win to try to get his team back in the game. That was one of the smart moves of the whole game because he wanted to go in the fourth quarter with a chance to win, and Tech had a huge third quarter because of it.
Spike was telling us yesterday that the purity of coaching is coaching at the high school level. And you wonder if he takes some time off, and even though he's 61 right now, still obviously very young, if he goes back one day and shows up at some high school in Lubbock or Midland and just works his craft there for very little pay. Here's the onside kick, and Texas Tech covers it up. The flag's also down. Oklahoma may have been offside.
No, I think that they touched the ball before it got to the 10 yards. It hit an Oklahoma player before the ball got to 10 yards. You can believe that Texas Tech's going to decline this one.
kicking team decline. First down, Texas Tech.
I should listen to you more often.
I don't know about that. Every once in a while I get lucky. 38-28, the Red Raiders can run out the clock. This is our final Dr. Pepper Big 12 game of the week. We've had an extraordinary season. First and foremost, we had great games every single weekend. We had great weather every single weekend. And there's so many people to thank at the top. The executive producers, Arthur Smith and Bill Borson. Our coordinating producer, Roy Hamilton. Here's Easterling carrying the football. Spence makes the tackle. Our week in, week out producer is Robert Steinfeld, and every game's always been ably directed by Ken Miller. Today we thank Mike Helling for producing. Mike produces our night package on a weekly basis. We moved him up, had to give him the early wake-up call today. Tom Stoner, our associate producer, our associate director, Daniel Ashcroft. Those guys do a great job every week. Our technical director, Mike Fox. Takes a whole lot of folks to put on a football game, and they spend most of the week working toward Saturday afternoon in this case, and many thanks from up here in the booth to those people. Tech leading 38-28. Rich Birdsong, and chief audio person.
Volleyball fans, be sure to catch the Red Raider volleyball team in action against Oklahoma tomorrow at 2 o'clock at the United Spirit Arena.
I wonder when the emotions open up for Spike Dykes. And also Rick Dykes upstairs. Rick, maybe even more so than Spike, feeling the emotions of this day because he has become so much closer with his father as an adult, being able to coach with his dad, than perhaps he was able to growing up, just because of the time away that a coach spends.
You know, we talked to Rick yesterday, and we started talking to him about his dad and this situation. Rick got a little teary-eyed. You could just see him. He just really was emotional about the fact this might be his dad's game. But I think if you talk to him a little bit, he is extremely happy that his dad get a chance to go away and have some fun away from the game.
Kingsbury running around just trying to kill the clock. What a huge victory for Texas Tech. A couple other folks we'd be remiss if we didn't mention. Mike McTighe, and in charge of facilities, Michael Montavani. I don't think he ever leaves the truck. Sherry Aarons, our Infinite operator. And this will be the final snap. And for 21 seniors and their head coach, Spike Dykes, they're going to go out the right way. And this is not to short Oklahoma. Oklahoma has had a marvelous season. They have one more game to play next week against Oklahoma State. They're going to go bowling as they begin to turn things around in Norman, Oklahoma.
You know, talking to Coach Dykes, as you see him smile on the sideline, he said, I don't want them to win this game for a fat old man. I want them to win it for themselves.
He did everything he could to deflect conversation away from himself. That is typical of Spike Dykes. But as the punt comes, Spike is going to be carried off the football field. Jackson is tackled at the 20-yard line. The cannons go off. It is done in Lubbock, Texas. Spike Dykes and the Texas Tech Red Raiders go to 6-5. And if it's the final time at Jones Stadium for that man, what a marvelous, marvelous career. The all-time winningest coach in Red Raider football history, and one of the best people in the coaching profession. It's the Red Raiders 38 and the Oklahoma Sooners 28. For our entire crew once again, my normal partner Dave Lapham and my good friend Keith Jackson and Jim Knox, I'm Drew Goodman saying so long from Lubbock, Texas. Have a great weekend, everybody.